sit right there.
What are we waiting for?
We scoping the place out, man. We ain't gonna just run up in there. That's how you get shot.
Falling asleep.
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. You walk. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say that again. You walk. Wow. Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely
You
nothing.
don't know nothing about no war.
Everybody knows war. Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Good God, you all.
It ain't you all, it's y'all.
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 Man, you sound like a karate movie. Y'all.
Yo.
Say it from right here with some soul. Y'all.
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 Let me show your goofy ass how to do this.
Good God, y'all.
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Come on,
Listen to
come
me.
on.
It ain't nothing but a heartbreak. Friend only
Come on.
to the Undertaker. This is an enemy to all mankind.
Do that again.
The thought of war.
Do it again.
Blows
Like this.
War has caused unrest within the younger generation. Induction, then destruction. Who wants to die? War. Good God, y'all.
What is it good for?
Absolutely
Nothing.
Listen to me. It ain't nothing but a heartbreaker. He's got one friend, that's the Undertaker. War has shattered many a young man's dreams, made him disabled, bitter and mean. Life is much too short and precious. It's been fighting wars each day. War can't give life, it can only take it away. War. Good God, y'all.
Yesterday, the Pentagon announced that 3 U.S. troops had been killed and dozens injured after a drone loaded with explosives struck them at a base in Jordan near the Syrian border. Now, none of that can be confirmed. The details, anyway, the location of the attack, and there's some question about whether that's true, but there is no question that American troops were killed yesterday, and the reaction to that, mixed with sadness, was highly political, in fact, even strategic. Within moments of this news breaking, Lindsey Graham, the Republican senator from South Carolina, called for blood. Quote, "Hit Iran now. Hit them hard," he tweeted. Nikki Haley, of course, piled on. Here's what she posted to X. Quote, "As a military spouse, my heart breaks for the families who lost loved ones. This shows the barbaric nature of our enemies in Iran, and it shows that they would not be attacking our troops if Joe Biden weren't so weak in his treatment of Iran. We should retaliate with full force, the full force of American strength. It's the only way to prevent further war. If we do not, these attacks will continue." Interesting. All of this came immediately. They were joined by Wes Clark, the former presidential candidate and commander of NATO, and buffoons like John Cornyn, who apparently is a senator from Texas, etc., all saying the same thing. Let's go to war with Iran. They all said this in both sides. Here's Nancy Pelosi on CNN telling you yesterday that anyone who is not for this, who would like, say, a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, is working for Vladimir Putin.
For them to call for a ceasefire is Mr. Putin's message. Mr. Putin's message. Make no mistake, this is directly connected to what he would like to see. Same thing with Ukraine. It's about Putin's message. I think some of these protesters are spontaneous and organic and sincere. Some, I think, are connected to Russia. And I say that having looked at this for a long time now, as you know.
You think some of these protests are Russian plants?
I don't think they're plants. I think some financing should be investigated. And I want to ask the the FBI to investigate that.
It's hard for most people to believe that a person in his or her 80s could be evil, but she is evil, and she's speaking lies. What you heard is totally dishonest. But there's a point to the dishonesty, and that is a war with Iran, which people in Washington have been agitating for more than 20 years. So are we going to war with Iran? Are we already in a war with Iran? And if so, what are the consequences? Most Americans have no idea. It's not even something they're thinking about, but they should be. Joe Kent is a former Green Beret. He's a combat veteran who lost his wife in one of these wars. He's running for Congress in Washington State in the 3rd Congressional District, and he has an interesting and highly informed perspective on this, and we're honored to have him join us now. Joe Kent, thank you so much for coming on today. So when you see all of this, and you hate to be cynical, but you really can't be too cynical when you're dealing with the war party in Washington. It did seem like a coordinated response very quickly, moments after the announcement of the tragic death of these American servicemen. What do you make of the response from both parties in Washington to the deaths yesterday?
I mean, this whole thing, we've seen it coming, Tucker. We left our troops in these vulnerable locations, like on the Jordanian, Syrian, and Iraqi border. Our troops have been attacked, we think, at least 150 times since the October 7th incident began. And so we've seen this coming. This was an inevitable conclusion. So by leaving our troops in these locations, undefended essentially, we left them there as bait because so many people in Washington, D.C. want to go to war with Iran. They want to go to a war with Iran so badly that we will prop up the government of Iraq while the government of Iraq is completely controlled by Iran. We spend billions of dollars every single year funding, arming, training, and equipping the Iraqi government so they can turn around and support the exact same militias that just killed our troops. Biden said it himself in his statement. He accused Iranian-backed militants operating in Iraq and Syria of conducting this attack that killed the 3 Americans and wounded nearly 30 more. That is nothing short of saying the Popular Mobilization Forces, which is part of the Iraqi military that we support. So if you look at just the full scope of the way that we have arranged ourselves in the Middle East, who we're supporting and where our troops are, there's no other logical conclusion other than the fact that we have left them there as bait to be killed by Iranians at the time and place of their choosing, so that them there as bait to be killed by Iranians at the time and place of their choosing, so that we can continue to escalate towards a conflict with Iran. And like you said, there was a very coordinated series of talking points that came out almost immediately that we need to go and strike back against Iran. And look, we do need to strike back. We can't just let this go unanswered. But if we start taking strikes inside of Iran itself, that is exactly what the Iranian regime wants. They will benefit from that. If we start attacking Iran the way that we attacked Iraq, the way we attacked Afghanistan, then the Iranian government, the Iranian mullahs, the Ayatollah, the people will rally around them in support. We should be taking calculated strikes back at Iranian proxy groups for self-defense, and then we should immediately get our troops out of these foolish locations before we lose more blood and treasure for absolutely nothing in the Middle East, and before
Guys, welcome to SHOT Show Day 2, and we are at the LMT booth with Robert, and we were going to go over kind of a rare niche offering that they actually put out for a select group of individuals and users that contacted them on it. Go ahead and take it away, Robert.
Yeah, so this is a PDW system that was designed for an international client. Given the I guess the way our company works, we do a lot of international work with government organizations, international military, and so we get special requests quite often. And with those special requests, they kind of drive some of the innovation. So we were able to adopt our typical MRP, or our monolithic rail platform upper receiver. We adjusted it for the size that they requested and the barrel, and we're able to come up with a personal defense weapon that is similar to our normal design one, but yet met the requirements of that international client. So PDW buttstock still the same as we would find on the one offered in the United States, about 3 inches of drop off on overall length from a traditional receiver extension. But we reduced the size of our carbine length upper to accommodate this shorter barrel. Our normal carbines would be 10.5, 11.5, 14.5. This one's down about 8 inches on a 5.56. A special purpose system designed for a special client to meet a special need is something that LMT Defense is pretty good for when it comes to government agencies. So yeah, Mars lower receiver, standard like would be available to a U.S. government law enforcement client. Same PDW buttstock, but what we did was adapt an existing system with the same free-floating quick barrel change capabilities we have in our normal lineup to meet a special need for them.
Lee, let me introduce you to Carter's theory of criminal investigation. Follow the rich white man.
Follow the rich white man?
Exactly, now you're learning. Every big crime has a rich white man behind it waiting for his cut. Now, in our case, we know who the rich white man is. Stephen Rain.
Who?
Stephen Rain, the hotel billionaire. I saw him on Rick Tan's boat. When the shooting started, he was way too cool. And I'm gonna tell you something, when people start shooting, white people ain't that cool. They either running around, hiding behind tables, or screaming like, ah!